Hi there, it's the Sims 4 Master and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 speedbuild. So today I'm building a brand new house in The Sims 4 and this one is actually called Blocks, and you're actually finding out already right now why it's called Blocks, because I'm using these little square shaped coffee tables to actually create a house, or at least create a facade for the house. This is a plan I came up with a couple of days ago and I was like, I've got to test that, and I was super eager to get started building again, which I was happy about because recently I've noticed at some points that I felt sort of limited with The Sims 4 building tools to sort of express and visualize my architectural ideas. Also because I'm sort of thinking about more organic shapes nowadays, or at least recently, and therefore organic shapes are super hard or actually impossible to do in The Sims, which sort of sucks because therefore sometimes I feel less inspired sort of to create cool things. But then I came up with this and I was like, okay, that's cool, I've got to try it out, and honestly it turned out better than I'd expected. I thought, otherwise I wouldn't have come up with it. I thought, that's gonna be sort of cool and I'm just going to try it, but actually in the end it doesn't really work out sort of well. Which I'm happy with because, yeah, it sort of takes quite some time to place like all those squared coffee tables up and down. In case you don't know what it works like, you've got to use the cheat bb.moveObjectsOn, and then you can press 9. You got to select an item obviously. Then if you press 9 you actually make that item go up, and if you press 0 it's actually going down. So in that way I was able to sort of come up with this, and in the end the shape of the house sort of worked out well. I did use custom content for the windows, but in case you don't like that you can actually remove that. I'm not too sure how I'll upload it. I think I'll upload it without custom content because I know that you cannot actually easily find it on a gallery. I think like half of the comments with custom content speed builds is like, how do I get to download this house? Even though I clearly explained you've got to go to settings in like the gallery, and then you've got to click on like something like exceptional content or other content or something like that, because EA wants to sort of separate custom content content from like the regular content, which doesn't contain custom content. So whoa, this is getting confusing, but anyways, yeah, which is super logical, but yeah, people just don't really seem to get that. So I guess I'm just going to upload it with like regular windows. It will look a little bit less cool, but for the video I use this simply because it does look cool, and in case you've got these windows you can obviously just place them the way I did and you've totally got the house I've built here. So it's a 2-bedroom 2-bathroom house. Yeah, nothing too special there, but in the end it did really turn out to look cool. And also the interior, that's something I wanted to say, is something I'm super proud of with this one. And whereas with the previous speed build I actually told you that I wasn't really happy with the interior for that house, with this one I definitely am. So if you're into interior and you're sort of used to me not making good ones, maybe this one might be an exception for you. But yeah, I'm very curious to read all your comments about the house, so please let me know in the comments down below what you've got to say about it, and if you've got any suggestions maybe for future houses, that would be really cool, because it's always really fun to read like everything you say, and that is often just super heartwarming, and I really like to read it all. And it sort of feels weird how YouTube has been sort of going more to the background recently, mainly because of a lack of time, and like I said also at times because of sort of a lack of inspiration to actually work on this, but mainly a lack of time. And I'm like, how did I ever manage to upload 4 videos in a week and also manage to do school? Of course nowadays I'm doing university, so that's taking quite a bit more time than like high school did. But at the same time, at high school I had quite a lot of tests as well, and I had to study a lot for them. So therefore, in the end I'm not really understanding how I was able to upload as much as I did. And also recently I've sort of had less concentration, I guess, on the things I'm working on. But yeah, nevertheless I've uploaded this one, and I'm really planning on doing this more often, this being sort of creative with the items we've got, just to come up with cool things, because every now and then on Twitter, by the way, you can follow me on Twitter at DutchSimsMaster, and also on Instagram at DutchSimsMaster or at DutchSims4Master. I'm not entirely sure. I believe it's at Dutch Sims Master, which is really cool because there you can just see what I'm doing, often also outside of YouTube. But what I wanted to say is that often on Twitter I see pictures going around, and also generally here on YouTube, of people using like weird items, or at least not regular building items, to create cool buildings, sort of like I did here with these coffee tables. And that's actually a thing I want to do more, because I personally really like to see those creative things, and I can imagine that you like to see that as well. So I'm planning on doing so. If you've got a really cool suggestion, let me know, because maybe I'm actually using it then. But I personally prefer to come up with it myself, because, you know, in that way it actually ends up being like the coolest, sort of, or at least for myself, I sort of want to come up with the things myself, just because, you know, in that way you can actually feel proud, sort of what you've come up with, I guess. Otherwise it's just copying, or at least applying someone else's plans. So yeah, and recently I've been working really hard on my second design project for like my first year at university, where I've got to design a rowing club in Amsterdam. I'm not too sure if I've actually talked about this previously already. If I did, I probably talked about it in the SketchUp speed build, but no one actually saw that anyway, so I might actually talk about it again, and I've made some progress on that. So yeah, like I've sort of said already, I'm designing a rowing club in Amsterdam, or at least, yeah, like super many people are doing so, because it's an assignment, so it's not actually going to be there. But it's, you know, you've got to practice to design a building in order to do, or to learn how to do so. And where with my first design project, it was mainly truly about the conceptual design, sort of, and coming up with plans and purely being creative and visualizing that, which was like super much fun and sort of easy to do as well. Now it's sort of getting hard, because you've also got to make sure that you can technically sort of make those ideas you've got happen. And therefore often you see people sort of taking an easy way out and designing something which isn't really special. Personally, I've sort of challenged myself with a design which is sort of challenging at point in like certain points. Especially with like construction, which is also something I don't have like much experience with yet. We haven't done too much like actual, well, actually we've never truly designed like a steel construction for a building before, so therefore this is all new, and then it's also sort of a hard building to do it with. But yeah, that is something I'm spending a lot of time in. Also, you've got to do calculations on like the amount of ventilation needed, how much heat will you lose in the winter because of the windows, all that kind of stuff. How many solar panels, or how many square meters solar panel do you need in order to sort of be self-sufficient, because that's also sort of part of the assignment. Designing a rowing club that is actually sort of self-sufficient, or at least, yeah, basically that's it. Self-sufficient in the energy need, at least. So that is sort of cool, but it does take up a lot of time, also because it's easy to sort of lose yourself in the excitement of working on it, and therefore, yeah, you know, you probably get it when you're like working on something and you like to work on it, but it just takes a lot of time, and then at some point you don't really like it anymore because you've spent so much time on it. Well, that's currently sort of the thing I'm dealing with, and also partly because, you know, it's obvious that this takes a lot of time, it doesn't really matter, but at this point, because I've never actually like created the construction and stuff before, it's sort of confusing, and I'm sort of at that point that I'm like, should I know how to do this, and how do I do this, and why is it so hard, sort of. But I'll figure it out, I guess. But the deadline is in like 2.5 weeks, which is super stupid, because the week before that there's actually like the Sims 4 Seasons release, which is super fun. But this upcoming like week and weekend, I don't have a lot of time to work on like anything, which is maybe when I'm able to create some Seasons videos. I'm not too sure if there will be early access, but if there is, I'm afraid that I will not really be able to upload it early. Compared to others. Now, I must say, and that is sort of a weird thing maybe, but the point with early access nowadays with The Sims is, and this might sound sort of weird, but the point is that it's super much fun, early access, but because so many people have it nowadays, it's nothing too special, and those people who do upload videos all get it early, so it's nothing special. People expect you to like play it 4 days early, and therefore where it used to be like, whoa, you know, this is new content, this is cool, this is something I've never seen before. Yeah, actually the main problem is that like 100 channels upload at the same moment, and then actually your video is not actually being found. So therefore early access, it's fun, and you sort of feel the pressure to upload on that moment, or at that specific moment sort of. But then in the end, the result and the actual amount of people that get to see it is sort of disappointing. But that's just more of an inside YouTube thing. I'm super interested to see, however, because last weekend there was EA Play in Los Angeles, where people, YouTubers and also people who visited the like conference thing. It was a conference. Would you call it a conference? I think it's called a conference. Anyways, people got to play the Sims 4 Seasons there, which I'm super jealous of. Mainly because of that new roof tool, honestly, which is also coming with a patch. So that's nothing too new, because everyone will be able to see it. But this is sort of my hesitation towards Seasons. It's the fact that I'm not too sure how many building aspects will be with it. But at least, you know, that cool roof tool is coming. So I'm happy with that. But what was I talking about? I'm going all crazy with things I'm not too sure about how I got to that point. Oh yeah, YouTubers and other simmers got to play it. I'm interested to see if they will be able to upload like content they've captured. They've probably definitely captured content, so I'm super interested to see that. And honestly, I've got to admit that I was super jealous not to be there, but yeah, this year no one from the Netherlands got any invitation, and it's sort of obvious as well, or at least nothing too weird, and it's definitely not something to expect. I mean, I went to San Francisco for The Sims less than a year ago, so it would have been like totally crazy if I would have been invited to go there. Also, I would always make time for that, so that wouldn't actually be an excuse. But I'm super interested to see how it's going to be the game. But like I said, I'm sort of busy, so I'm not too sure yet in what way I'll be able to upload for the release of The Sims 4 Seasons. But I'll do my best to upload what I can, and if I upload, I want to do it well. I'll probably start with a winter house, even though it's like midsummer, or a fall house, because that often looks really cool as well. I think I'll start with fall, and also the first house will probably have like a huge, like sort of, what do you call it? Like a, it's on like the tip of my tongue. It's a glass house, I believe. Yeah, it's just literally what it is, a glass house, because it's a house made of glass. But you know, with the new roof tool I mentioned previously, you're able to create something with like glass roofs, which is super cool. So I'm interested to test that out. So that's something my first speed build will probably be about. I'm not too sure if I'm doing a Let's Build, because I seriously even haven't finished the temple Let's Build yet. Yeah, for some reasons Let's Builds just don't work anymore. If you like them, let me know. But the point is sort of that no one actually often really lets me know that they are into it, or it doesn't really seem like something people are really liking, sort of. They really totally prefer these speed builds, which I can understand. But you know, sometimes it's fun to be able to do Let's Build simply because you're able to upload those more frequently. You know, if it's not being watched, then you don't actually make anyone else happy with it. So maybe it's sort of, you know, it's fun to do, but I personally prefer the fun of creating a build in one go than actually dividing it up all the time. But of course, I wouldn't be able to upload like 4 videos of speed builds every week. Because like I mentioned, I've got sort of a life besides YouTube as well. By the way, let me know what you think of this interior, because personally I think it's really cool, and I finally stepped out of like my standard furniture, which I often used, mainly because I used a lot of stuff from Spa Day. By the way, that's also the pack where those really cool squares come from. So if you don't have Spa Day, this might be sort of hard for you to actually use. It might be sort of weird looking, because I'm super interested to see what tables they're actually using instead of these squared wooden tables I showed, or I use in this house. By the way, I know that this is a bench, but I liked it so much that I thought, you know, I'm just going to visually use this as a coffee table, just because I like the different look of it. And also I really like the bar with the attached dining table with like those stools underneath it, in like sort of the Japanese style. That I think this is a house you'd see in Japan, sort of, even though often in Japan you also see like super wide modern houses. By the way, I built a Japanese house in The Sims 4 before in like my Around the World building series, so if you want to see like some Japanese house, make sure you check that video out. But yeah, please share a video, share a photo like on Instagram or Twitter or wherever of you downloading this house if you don't have spa day, because I'm super interested to see what tables they're actually using for the facade, and I'll definitely share that video, like that photo everywhere I can, because that's probably hilarious. I hope, because otherwise, yeah, it probably will be, because no other coffee table is probably suited to be used for the facade. But yeah, sort of cool. And generally, yeah, you know, Spa Day is a really cool pack, however. So if you're thinking of getting a game pack, let me think, what other game packs have we got? We've got Dine Out, sort of cool, but I noticed that I don't really often use items from that. We've got Jungle Adventures, which is really cool. Yeah, that's a super cool pack as well. Now we've got Parenthood, I believe, which I think I never use, or not often. Then we've also got, how did I forget? We've got quite some game packs already. We've also got the first one, Jungle Adventure, no, not Jungle Adventures, it was Outdoor Retreat, which is cool as well because of that world you get. But like for building items and like actual content, I think Spa Day is like a really good deal, because it's like $20, and if you're getting it in like some kind of other pack or with it like sale, I guess it's like $15 or 15 euros, something like that, and you truly get many items for that money, so that's sort of cool. So if you're thinking of getting a new pack, this is my advice, I guess. Okay, I've totally missed time again, or at least for some reason before I started recording I'm like, how am I ever going to fill 20 minutes? And then in the end, it just happens. So thank you for watching this video. Like I said, don't forget to leave a like on this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more of this. And then, yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to share your experiences with the house, especially if you don't have these specific tables I'm using. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back later.